Stalking and abuse can have serious consequences for victims, including physical harm, emotional trauma, and even death. It's important to know how to protect yourself and seek help if you find yourself in this situation. One of the first steps in protecting yourself is to recognize the warning signs of stalking and abuse. These can include repeated unwanted contact or communication, such as phone calls, texts, or emails, threats or intimidation, including threats of violence or harm, invasion of privacy, such as hacking into your accounts or following you, physical violence or threats of violence. If you are experiencing any of these behaviors, it's important to seek help and support. This can include talking to a trusted friend or family member, reaching out to a domestic violence hotline, or contacting the police. If you are confronted by an abuser or stalker, it's important to try to remain calm and focused. Yelling and screaming may escalate the situation, so try to speak in a calm and assertive voice. It's okay to agree to the abuser's demands in the moment, but make sure to have a plan in place to get help as soon as possible. If the situation becomes physically violent, it's important to protect yourself as best you can. This may involve striking vulnerable areas of the body, such as the eyes or throat, or using a self-defense tool like pepper spray. The most important thing is to get away from the abuser and seek help as soon as possible. It's also important to have a safety plan in place in case you need to leave an abusive situation. This can include having a bag packed with essentials, knowing where you can go for help, and having a trusted person you can call for support. There are many resources available to help victims of stalking and abuse. These can include domestic violence hotlines. These hotlines provide confidential support and resources to victims of domestic violence. Shelters. Many shelters offer safe and secure housing for victims of stalking and abuse. Support groups. Support groups can provide a safe and supportive space for victims to share their experiences and receive support from others who have been through similar situations. Legal help. Many organizations offer legal assistance to victims of stalking and abuse, including help with restraining orders and other legal protection. It's important to remember that you are not alone and there is help available. If you are in an abusive or stalking situation, reach out for help and support. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Your safety and well-being are the most important things. Scientific research has shown that stalking and abuse can have serious physical and psychological consequences for victims. According to the National Institute of Justice, victims of stalking are at increased risk for depression, anxiety, and sleep disorders. They may also experience physical symptoms such as headaches, stomach problems, and weight loss or gain. Victims of abuse are also at risk for physical harm, including injuries and even death. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, women who experience physical or sexual violence from an intimate partner are more likely to have long-term health problems, including injuries, chronic pain, and sexually transmitted infections. It's important to take steps to protect yourself and seek help if you are a victim of stalking or abuse. Remember, you are not alone and there are resources available to help you. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. Your safety and well-being are the most important things.